Welcome back to The Empowered, where we dive into the transformative tools and stories that empower us to step in alignment and create lives filled with authenticity, peace, and abundance. Before we dive into today's topic, let me ask you a question. Do you feel tied to someone emotionally, mentally, or energetically in a way that feels heavy or draining? Are you tired of feeling stuck in low vibrations like resentment, anger, or guilt? If you answered yes, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes that help you on your healing journey. And take a moment to introduce yourself in the comments or message me. I love hearing your stories and learning how I can support you better. Today's episode is all about cutting cords. We're talking about how emotional and energetic ties keep us in the same reality and how breaking those ties can liberate us, reclaim our energy, and create space for something new. So with no further ado, let's begin. Let's start with what energy cords actually are. These cords are invisible threads that keep us connected to people, experiences, and emotions. Some of them are beautiful. They bring us love, support, and a sense of belonging. But others feel heavy, binding, and restrictive. Have you ever noticed that when you think about a certain person or experience, it's like an emotional wave washes over you? Maybe it's frustration, guilt, or even sadness. That's the cord. It's an energetic tie that holds you in that emotional state. And here's the thing, as long as you stay tied to those emotions, you stay tied to that reality. If emotions are energy in motion, and that energy is stagnant, then your reality stays exactly the same. Cutting cords isn't just about letting go of the past. It's about creating the space for a new future to emerge. The first step in cutting cords is recognizing where those cords exist into your life. Ask yourself, is there someone whose energy you carry with you every day? Do you feel drained, anxious, or heavy when you think about them? Are you replaying old conversations, arguments, or situations in your mind? How do you feel when they call you? What is your first instinct? For me, one of the most powerful moments in my journey was realizing how much energy I was giving to people and situations that no longer aligned with who I was becoming. I kept replaying past hurts, feeling like I needed closure or validation. But all that did was keep me stuck in the same emotional loop. When I finally decided to let go, to truly release those ties, I felt the weight lift off my chest. It wasn't easy. There was grief and there was guilt. But on the other side of that discomfort was a freedom I hadn't felt in years. Holding on to these cords doesn't just drain you emotionally, it can affect you physically and spiritually. Dr. Gabor Mate talks about how unresolved emotional stress manifests in the body. When you're constantly living in resentment, anger, or guilt, it activates stress responses that can literally make us sick. Think about it. When you hold on to that grudge or keep replaying that fight, your body doesn't know the difference between the past and the present. It thinks that threat is happening right now. And cutting cords is an act of self-care, of protecting your body, mind, and spirit from the wear and the tear of holding on to old energy. Where in your body do you feel the weight of holding on? Is it the tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your stomach, Pay attention to those signals. They're telling you where the cords exist. Now let's talk about the process of cutting cords. This isn't about forgetting or pretending something didn't happen. It's about shifting the energy and releasing yourself from that emotional weight. Here's a simple step-by-step process. Identify the cord. Close your eyes and bring to the mind the person, situation, or belief you tied to. Visualize the cord. Picture a cord connecting you to that person or experience. Notice its color, texture, and where it is attached to your body. Cut the cord. Imagine using scissors, a knife, or a beam of light to sever the connection. As you do, say to yourself, I release this with love and gratitude. Fill the space with light. Picture golden light filling the place where the cord was, bringing healing and peace. Repeat as needed. Some cords take time to fully release. Be patient with yourself. After this episode, take 10 minutes to try this visualization. Identify the cord, visualize the cord, cut the cord, fill the space with light. Write down how you feel before and after. You might be surprised at the shift. When you cut the cord, you're not just letting go. You're stepping into a new reality. You're reclaiming your energy and opening up space for something better. For me, one of the most surprising things about cutting cords was how much lighter I felt. It was like I could finally breathe again. And what's even more beautiful is that when you release someone energetically, you often give them the freedom to grow and heal too. What could your life look like if you weren't tied to this person or experience anymore? What would you do with all the energy you've been holding on to? Cutting cords is one of the most profoundly healing acts you can offer to yourself. When you hold on to emotional or energetic ties, you're keeping a part of yourself stuck in the past. Whether it's an argument, a betrayal, or even just a lingering attachment to someone's approval, that energy takes up so much space within you. It's like trying to walk forward while dragging a bag full of rocks. Your progress is slow and it's exhausting. When you cut cords, you're doing more than just letting go. You're making space for healing, clarity, and growth. It's like clearing out an old, cluttered room so that light can come in as you can finally breathe. When you're tied to someone else's energy, it's easy to lose sight of your own. Cutting cords brings you back to yourself. It's a chance to ask, who am I without this attachment? What do I truly want for my life? How can I show up for myself in a way that feels whole and empowered? This process is healing because it allows you to see yourself clearly, without the weight of someone else's influence clouding your view. You're reconnected with your authentic self, the person you've always been beneath the layers of attachment and expectations. Cutting cords doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you are. You're no longer carrying the same emotions and reactions to the same triggers. You're stepping in a new state of being, one that's grounded in joy, peace, and freedom. As Dr. Dispenza says, a new personality creates a new personal reality. When you release the energetic ties of the past, you're free to create a future that aligns with who you're becoming, not who you've been. A new state of being means that your thoughts, feelings, and actions align with the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. It's about choosing a version of yourself that feels expansive, authentic, and aligned in your higher self. Here's the truth. As long as you're tied to the old energy, you're repeating old patterns. But when you cut those cords, you're no longer reacting out of habit. You're intentionally creating a new reality. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza puts it, when you change your energy, you change your life. Stepping into a new state of being requires clarity and intention. After you've released those cords holding you back, ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to carry? Is it peace, joy, abundance, or love? Visualize that energy filling your entire body. What habits or patterns align with my future self? Maybe it's setting stronger boundaries, practicing gratitude, slowing down, or speaking more kindly to yourself. Who do I want to be moving forward? Think about the qualities that define your higher self: confident, compassionate, resilient, free. Every action, thought, and choice you make from this point forward should align with the vision of the future self. This is how you create new personality and a new reality to match it. When you're cutting cords, you're reclaiming energy that once tied to people or situations that drained you. That energy is now yours to use however you choose. Think of it as a full battery. You're no longer wasting power on the past. So you have all this energy to invest in your future. Imagine yourself as a vibrational being, because that's exactly what you are. When you're no longer vibrating at the frequency of anger, resentment, or guilt, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that match your new higher vibration. This is the law of resonance at work. You're no longer a prisoner of the past. You're a creator of your future. I'll share a moment from my own life after I cut cords with a particular relationship that had been weighing me down. I noticed something incredible. At first, there was silence, a void that felt unsettling. But as I leaned into that silence, I began to feel lighter. I started noticing small shifts in my daily life. I felt more present with my children. I had more energy to pursue creative projects. I started attracting people who felt supportive and aligned with my values. This wasn't a coincidence. By letting go of resentment and anger, I made space for joy and connection. I wasn't reacting to the world around me. I was creating it. Let's try a quick exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 6 months from now. You've cut the cords that no longer serve you. You've released the emotional weight of the past. How do you feel? What does your energy look like? What kind of people are in your life? What kind of opportunities are showing up for you? Hold on to that vision. That's your new state of being. And every time you choose to act in alignment with it, you're stepping closer to that reality. When you shift your energy, you're not just changing your internal state, you're changing your external world. Your relationships improve, opportunities flow more easily, and you begin to experience life as it's meant to be, abundant, peaceful, and aligned. This new state of being is your birthright. It's who you were always meant to be, underneath the layers of fear, doubt, and attachment. Cutting cords is just the first step. It's the doorway into this new reality. Healing is not a straight road, and it's definitely not a smooth one. It's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like you're taking one step forward only to slide 2 steps back. But here's the truth. Even when it feels like you're not moving, you are. Every tear, every moment of reflection, and every time you make the hard choice of release what no longer serves you, you're climbing. Michelle Obama, in her book Becoming, beautifully describes growth as a journey up a mountain. She says, as you grow, it's like walking a mountain. Not everyone will make it to the altitude. And that's the reality of healing. Not everyone is willing or able to do the work required to climb higher. It's painful to let go of people who can't or won't climb with you. There's a sense of sacrifice because these are the people you love, people who have been part of your life. But if you hold on to them, if you stay at their level out of guilt or fear, you'll never make it to the top of the mountain. The higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. You have to travel light. And if you try to carry everyone with you, especially those who aren't willing to climb, you'll stay stuck in that fog, weighed down by their resistance. Letting go isn't about abandoning others. It's about choosing yourself. It's about recognizing that you can't drag someone up the mountain. They have to choose to climb. And if they don't, you have to keep going. This is what makes healing so non-linear. There are moments when you feel strong, like you're making real progress. And then there are moments when grief and doubt pulls you back. You might feel guilty for moving forward, or you might miss the people you've left behind. That's all part of the process. But here's what I've learned. Every setback, every dip is part of that climb. Those moments of doubt and struggle are when you build resilience. They're when you learn to trust yourself, to keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. Think of it this way. The mountain is foggy at times. You might not see the top, but that doesn't mean it's not there. And every step you take, no matter how small, it's bringing you closer. If you don't let go, you stay in that fog with the people who aren't willing to grow. You're sacrificing yourself. You're sacrificing your potential, your dreams, and your peace for the comfort of staying in the familiar. Ask yourself, am I staying in relationships or situations that keep me stuck because it's easier than facing the pain of letting go? What would my life look like if I released these ways and allowed myself to climb higher? Letting go isn't just a sacrifice. It's a gift you give yourself. It's choosing to prioritize your growth over your guilt. Letting go will hurt, and there's no way around that. You're grieving not just the person or situation, but also the version of yourself that existed with them. But pain is a natural part of growth. Think of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. That process isn't gentle. It's a complete breaking down and rebuilding. But on the other side is freedom and beauty and light. As you climb your mountain, let yourself feel the pain of letting go. Don't rush through it or try to numb it. Sit with it, honor it, and then keep climbing. Because on the other side of the pain is clarity, lightness, and a sense of purpose you've never experienced before. Michelle Obama's words resonate deeply here. As you grow, it's like walking a mountain. Not everyone will make it to the altitude, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to walk your path with you. Some people's journey ends at a different altitude, and that doesn't make them wrong or bad. It just means their growth is happening on a different timeline or a different way. But if you hold on to them, you're not just sacrificing your climb, you're keeping them in the fog too. Letting go isn't just an act of self-love. It's also an act of love for the people you release. You're giving them the space to find their own mountain, their own path, and their own growth. Take a moment to reflect. Who or what in your life is keeping you in the fog? What are you ready to release so you can climb higher? How would your life feel if you let go of that weight and embrace the altitude? The climb is hard, but the view from the top is worth it. Keep going, keep trusting yourself, and remember, you're not climbing for anyone else. You're climbing for you. Growth isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. It's a process of unlearning, of shedding old layers, and of stepping into a version of yourself that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned. But here's the truth. Not everyone can or will join you on this journey. As Michelle Obama says this so beautifully, not everyone will make it to the altitude, and that's okay. Your journey isn't about dragging others to the top. It's about honoring your climb, embracing your truth, and giving yourself permission to rise. Letting go will hurt, and it will feel like a sacrifice, but it's also the greatest gift you can give to yourself. The gift of clarity, freedom, and the ability to see the world from a higher perspective. So as you move forward, remember this. You're not letting go of rejection or anger. You're letting go because you deserve to grow. You deserve to climb higher. And the view waiting for you at the top, it's the most beautiful than you can ever imagine. Thank you for being here with me today, for trusting yourself enough to explore these hard but transformative truths. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need this message. And don't forget to subscribe so that we keep climbing this mountain together. Until next time, honor your journey, protect your energy, and keep choosing yourself. And as always, take care of you. See you soon.